Guruji, I'd like to share two or three short satsangs. So the first satsang I'll share is about my car accident. Like Auntie was sharing about car accident, I'll share my similar, very, very similar experience. So what happened about 4 years ago, and this is before I started coming to Guruji's Darbar in this lifetime. And so I also have been, with His grace, worshipping Shivji since I've been, a kid. So now what happened? I was driving with somebody from Boston to New Hampshire. They have like really, really beautiful autumn, very beautiful fall there. So I was driving with somebody and it was raining. Now, अब क्या हुआ कि I was very callous. I started driving very fast. I was driving like around 80, 85, very careless. अब क्या हुआ कि मैं लेफ्ट मोस्ट लेन में था. मैंने ब्रेक मारी स्लो डाउन करने के और गाड़ी हाइड्रोप्लेन होनी शुरू हो गई, गोल गोल घूमनी शुरू हो गई बारिश में. एंड इट वाज अ 3 लेन हाईवे और पहाड़ था वो. इट वाज लाइक पहाड़, नाइन माउंटेन्स. So now the car started sliding from the leftmost lane in a circle, went on the rightmost lane, or gadi started toppling upside down vertically, and it was like a big dhalan in the pahad. So ऊपर नीचे गोल गोल घूमना शुरू हो गई गाड़ी. And I was like, अब तो like like probably like the last time I'm doing this, और गाड़ी like vertical घूम रही है. अब दूसरी बार जब हवा में घूमी ना, I started shouting loudly Om Namah Shivaya. I said Om Namah Shivaya, like I was literally like shouting, for help or whatever. जैसे आंटी ने बोला, I was just shouting Om Namah Shivaya. The moment I shouted Om Namah Shivaya, in a few seconds, गाड़ी ना एकदम मक्खन की तरह आके रुक गई. एक पहाड़ पे एक पेड़ था और पेड़ पे आके एकदम ऐसे स्मूथली आके it just smoothly like stopped like this. And गाड़ी was completely totaled. Airbags were opened. ऊपर से पूरी पिचक गई थी. Seat belts were on thankfully. And बारिश था, अंधेरा almost हो गया था, dusk का time था. A few cars stopped by. I came out of the car in a complete shock, without a scratch, without a bruise. And I was completely like, also went to the hospital, got a CT scan just to like make sure it was all good. And, even the person who was with me, they were completely safe. So how Guruji has been with us forever, even before we worship him as Guruji. So that was such a sacred experience of how Guruji saved me, saved my life. So that was the first satsang. The second satsang I'll share is of Jesus Christ. So tomorrow is Christmas Eve, 25th is Christmas. So I'll share a couple of satsangs related to Jesus Christ. So the first satsang I'm sharing is of somebody else, one Sangat who lives in Bay Area, who shared the satsang with me. And I was so touched, so I felt like sharing. So in Christianity, Jesus is called the Son of God. They say Jesus is the Son of God. And, now she is sharing this satsang. I'm narrating her satsang. She got a dream darshan, which Jesus Christ came in her dream. And, he was sitting in zameen pe, with his legs like this. And I say, now, baithe hote, Jesus Christ, very like blue eyes. And he was talking to her. So उनको बोलते कि tell me about my father. Tell me about my father. So Jesus was asking her, please tell me about my father. Like, और वो, and then auntie was narrating all Guruji's life stories. कि Guruji was born in Dugri, Guruji का ऐसे था, like the whole life story. So Jesus Christ is asking auntie about, tell me about my father. And, Jesus is called Son of God. So now we know who Jesus' father is. That is our Guruji, God. So such a beautiful satsang, The second satsang about Jesus Christ is very gracefully, he blessed me with that darshan. So this is from last year Christmas. I went to a cathedral in San Francisco on Christmas Eve. It was very beautiful. I just luckily was able to be there. Christmas carols were being sung. Very, very beautiful environment. Uh, so that night I came home. I just kind of, prayed and did, things we do. And then now that same night, I got a darshan of, on Christmas Eve, I got a darshan of Jesus Christ. It was so beautiful. So there was a big cathedral, and actually Jesus Christ's body was lying in the cathedral with a lot of candles. And we know on Christmas, it's like when he was born and the whole story about resurrection. And so now Jesus' body was placed, and all the Sangat, Guruji Sangat, were actually going to get Jesus' darshan. And like the feeling of Jesus was exactly how we feel in a satsang. Same feeling, same like as if Guruji was there. Now, kya hota hai ki now as I was going also, Jesus becomes like I see Jesus's body and I also see Guruji's body. Now, Guruji's body in Mahasamadhi. So both Jesus, also Guruji, and the same candle, same ambience. And so now one Sangat tells in the dream that Jesus resurrected in Yeshu resurrected in 7 days, and she said Guruji resurrected in 30 days. Uh, so, that's what she said, 7 days and 30 days. But the feeling was exactly the same of Jesus and Guruji. Now, I'll share one more very, very sacred darshan about Jesus Christ. Uh, you know, one time I was driving a car and Jesus was sitting in the passenger seat and I was driving for him. It was so beautiful. I think I drove for about 3 hours and he was just sitting there. I was like, wow, it was so sacred. So those are some satsangs about Jesus, and how, it's that one light which manifests in different shapes and forms and also conforms to the way we worship God. Uh, the third satsang I'll share briefly is about, uh, you know, God is Parvati, Shakti and Shiva. So Guruji is Shakti, Guruji is Shiva. He's both male and female. I mean, these are human constructs, we know, but Shakti and Shiva, like he's both. So I'll share a few satsangs about Shakti aspect of Guruji. Uh, so, we know in Hinduism, Shivji's other half is Parvati, Ardhanarishwar. So I'll share one darshan. So my brother was visiting the Bay Area and, he loves to worship Lord Krishna. So one night when he was here, we were just chit-chatting. We were just debating amongst brothers. I was like, we are so much more cool. Shiva worshippers, we don't have to fast. We don't have that many rules like you. So like pretty like sibling banter. Now what happened is that same night I was sleeping, like I got a dream darshan and I saw like hundreds of gurus, hundreds and hundreds of gurus from different spiritual paths, including one guru from Krishna path, and that same guru we had met that night. So next to hundreds of guru was written one diksha, one diksha, and we know diksha is that a guru gives by way of a mantra, like mantra diksha, gyan diksha. So it's a spiritual initiation. Now hundreds of gurus came together and became goddess Durga. And goddess Durga was sitting on a tiger, and next to goddess Durga was written one Shakti. So one Diksha, one Shakti. Now goddess Durga became goddess Parvati, uh, and next to goddess Parvati was written one love. So one Diksha, one Shakti, one love. Uh, and so, I mean, we can analyze it the way we want, but I felt uh, every guru, every Sadguru is ultimately channeling us to one love, to that highest place in the universe. Uh, and in my conception, that represents, Shakti. Uh, and Guruji is that, Shakti Shiva. So that is one very, very sacred experience. And I'll share one very beautiful darshan, of Goddess Durga. Now we know that Guruji said that they are my daughters, ye meri betiyan hai. And I was like, yeah, you heard it, but you're like, great. Uh, Now what happened is I got a very, very sacred darshan, uh, dream darshan. Like there was a satsang, Guruji satsang going on, and lots of sangat were there. I was given some seva to do some cleaning, so I was cleaning some bathrooms and some other places, and then I came to get langar prasad, and the langar was actually being served by Durga Mata. She was wearing a red sari and she was serving puri, chole, the same prasad that we get in like Ashtami or Navami in India, the puri, chole, halwa with chai prasad, you know. Uh, so she was like doing seva in Guruji's darbar. I was like, oh my God, like this is what Guruji's darbar is. And then very, very sacred. And there was another very special darshan, Now, this is very, very personal. Uh, so, I mean, I love to worship Guruji in every form, including the mother. So, I got a very, very sacred darshan. I was climbing up a cave, जैसे पहाड़ से मैं गुफा के बीच बीच में से जा रहा था. And I actually entered a room which was Goddess Durga's house. So वहाँ पे गॉडेस दुर्गा के बहुत सारी ना फोटोज लगी हुई थी एंड भजन्स वर प्लेइंग ऑफ गॉडेस दुर्गा's praise. There's a very special song I like by the singer Jay Uttal. The song is called Jai Ma Durga. So that was being played in the background. Now, there were some pictures of Goddess Durga which were not in the warrior form. She was wearing a sari, she was like very mother-like. And then I, along with a few other Sangat, we went to her room, uh, her bedroom, and there were some more Sangat, and we were like sitting there and like Jai Guruji, very personal moment. But so Goddess Durga, we were waiting for Goddess Durga, and she would come to the room, uh, and she would like, she would hug us and she would like cuddle with us, and that was like such a deep sacred experience in our heart. uh, and I was like, oh my God, that was like so sacred. I'll just complete the satsang by sharing one more satsang. So there was a jot, and I was talking to a few sangat again in a dream darshan. I was like, do you know what this jot is? They were like, we don't know what the jot is. I was like, jot is uh, Swayambhu. So Swayambhu is another name for Lord Shiva. Swayam means self, Bhu means fire. So Swayambhu is self-ignited fire. Even in Mool Mantra, the word Saibhang means pretty similar, self-bhang, self-born, self-fire, ignited fire. So I was saying, this Jyot is Swayambhu, it's Shiva, but the way you worship the Jyot, if you worship the Jyot as Holy Mother, she'll take on the form as Holy Mother. So if you worship the Jyot as your girlfriend, God will love you as your girlfriend. If you worship the Jyot as your husband, the Jyot will love you as your husband. If you worship the Jyot as your father, the Jyot will become your father. So that's what Guruji is. He's Jyot, and the relationship we have with that light, he takes on that relationship for us. And it's our assumptions and our rules that we keep in our heads, but Guruji is infinite. He takes form of our heart, of our love, of our intentions. So Jai Guruji, thank you. And Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you so much, Anshuman.